Hello everyone. It is the afternoon of the 26th of April 2024. It's around almost 2:30 in the afternoon. Work this morning, and I just in the last 20 minutes got my package from UPS from Mark II Enterprises with my replacement rebuilt steering gear, so I'm very excited. I should have enough time this afternoon to install that and get my car back on the road. Lincoln Land also was able to find a replacement hose for me for my blower motor on the other side of the car over there, but it won't be here probably until Monday or Tuesday next week at the soonest. So I will just temporarily reattach the splash shield over there, put the wheel back on, and not worry about that side of the car for now. I also decided to try a different vendor, third-party vendor. I think it's Lincoln Mercury Old Parts Store for my windshield washer bag. I just hope they don't have the same source in the end that Old Car Clearance did. I don't want to have a third bag that's going to leak, but we'll see. It's a little more expensive, but I should have that, I think, tomorrow. I think that's it for now. The big thing is the steering gear, so I'll give you a little close-up shot of it here. It's still in the plastic. There she sits, all nice and pretty. I will get that on there fairly quickly, and I'll get my old steering gear in the box this came in. I've got 30 days to return it, so get my full $300 core back. They really want those back to charge that much of a core, not to mention the postage it's going to cost to get it back, but anyway, I'm just happy to have it. All right, you can see the replacement steering gear is just resting in there. I have actually got it tightened down on this end on the splines, but it's not tight on this end, so I have some movement either way. That's there for adjustment purposes. I got this tied out of the way with a bungee cord, so I didn't have too much trouble. Gravity is definitely my friend as I'm installing it. The hard part now is these things here with the bushings and everything, because you got to put the bushing between the steering gear and the body, and then push this bolt through from the inside the wheel well here. I'm going to attempt to do this with the tire still on the ground. We'll see if I have any luck doing it that way or not. Alright, so the steering gear is now solidly mounted against the frame of the body. It's also solidly mounted to the steering column right here at the rag joint. The hardest part, I think, of the operation I just finished, getting these stupid bolts lined up with those bushings on the other side with that heavy steering gear trying to maneuver it. That's tough, but got it done. So next comes the pitman arm back on the steering gear, and the exhaust pipe under here. I think that's all I need to do under here, and then the splash shield back on. Wheel back on the ground, and then finish everything up on top. Alright, at this point, the steering gear is locked in place tight. I finished reconnecting the shift linkage, reconnected the exhaust pipe. The pitman arm is installed underneath. That was a bit of a challenge, trying to get it lined up. It lines up a certain way. And then I tested turn to turn with the steering wheel to make sure it appeared to be turning correctly. And it does appear to be turning correctly, so I'm satisfied with that. Put my splash shield back on under here, put the tire back on, so now she's back on the ground. Now I think my next step is to put the brake booster back in place. Before I do, I'm going to put a bead of silicone sealant around here. The original design behind the booster had a plastic kind of a seal, almost a shim, that didn't come with my rebuilt booster, which I was kind of surprised about. And I went ahead and installed it without it. But I think this time I'd like the assurance of a better seal there. So I'm going to put a thin bead of clear RTV sealant around that opening here before I reattach the booster in there. So I'm sure some of you can relate to what it takes to get underneath the dash. You got to contort yourself and support yourself and all that to reach all these weird places under here. The booster is just about completely installed. All the nuts are on. My bead of silicone is between the firewall and the booster and under the hood. Right now I'm just snugging up the nuts now to lock the booster in place. I have the brake pedal back on the the rod for the booster, hook the brake light switch back onto it. That brake light switch is often a challenge, but for once, every once in a while, I get lucky, and today I got lucky. It went on fairly easily and straightforward. Maybe it's because I had done it fairly recently again. I don't know. But, I just thought I'd share, contortion. You got to be a contortionist. And I'm getting too old for this, but, I got to keep going. All right, at this point in the day, I have all my hydraulic lines hooked back up directly to the steering gear. Everything is tight, routed as good as I can get it. Got my vacuum lines reconnected here. I do believe next is the brake master cylinder. I'm going to need somebody's help to bleed the brakes again, but I think it'll be safe enough to drive even without bleeding the brakes again. I just don't have anybody here to help me right now, and I don't feel like taking the wheels off again to do that, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. And I got to put that lower dash panel back in, so I'm getting close to the end here. All right, folks, I do believe everything is now wrapped up. I think everything is connected. The only thing I still have to do, I'm sure, well, it shows full right now, but once I start it up, that'll get low when it fills up the steering gear. Got my dash reassembled, so I think I'm getting ready to start the engine. Of course, I'll check very closely for any leaks. This will be the first time this engine has run with the new heater core in place, so I'll be watching for water leaks at all those connecting points. And of course, all the hydraulic line connecting points. So let's start this baby up and see what happens. She hasn't run in several days, but I expect that she'll start just fine. Nice and tight steering wheel. I love that. Oh yeah, look at that. She just fired right up. All right, let's go check under the hood here. Oh shit. I must have forgotten to tighten something. Yeah, I think I forgot to tighten that line. Well, that's why we do this testing. Now I got a mess to clean up. All right, second attempt looks good. There's going to be some smoking because I dripped oil and transmission fluid on that exhaust pipe during this process, so that smoke is normal. Will burn off. Sounds really good. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit, then I'm going to check fluid levels, both coolant and power steering. No evidence of water leaks anywhere so far. And of course, I'll be keeping a close eye on the valve cover here. There should not be any oil coming out of that. There better not be. So I'm just going to let it run for a little while, warm up. Then I'm going to check fluid levels and hopefully take it for a test drive. All right, just finishing topping off my power steering fluid. One thing I noticed, which disturbed me, I had a small little gas leak right here at this fitting, so I tightened that up a little bit more. I'm always amazed that I got to constantly keep an eye on all these fittings. But anyway, she's running great. I can't believe how quiet and smooth this thing is running. Can't wait to take her out for a test drive. A few more minutes. The coolant level wasn't low at all. Good thing, because I'm out of antifreeze. I should go buy some more, though. All right, folks. I'm nervous. All this money, all this effort, all this time, was it worth it? Well, we're going to find out. I'm about to take my car out with the rebuilt steering gear in it and see how she handles. I'm very hopeful. Let's crank her back up. Oh, I thought I needed to crank her back up. There we go. My sunglasses on. The sun's getting low in the sky. And here we go. Oh yeah, let's see how the brakes work. Yeah, they definitely need to be bled, but they'll do for a test drive. Sorry about my hand there. All right. Oh, I don't know what this funny little color screen. Oh yeah, I definitely need to bleed brakes. Excuse me a second here. All right, hopefully this is working correctly. Anyway, here we go. I definitely have to straighten out the steering wheel again. I have to redo that adjustment. I'll do that another day. Alright, so far she feels good. See how it does at higher speeds. Pause here when the light's red. Alright, I'll shut off my lapel mic so you can get some more sounds, ambient noise, hopefully. I just love how she's running. She's running really good. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell the difference now. Higher speed, 40 miles an hour. Now she handles more like the Lincolns that I'm used to. She still handles like a boat, like a land yacht, but she's not jerking like she was before with the steering. So that steering gear is definitely the issue. So thank you, Jeff Smith, for pointing that out to me. That was definitely the issue. So, oh boy, I feel a whole lot better right now, let me tell you. A whole lot better. That was so much work and so much money. Now I got to return the core to get my core charge back. Oh yeah, this feels so much better. Oh yay, I'm happy, I'm happy. Alright, so I'm very happy now with the steering. Now I'm going to turn on the heater. Let's see if we get any heat in this car now. First time testing for that. Air's blowing on my feet. Is it warm? Not yet. Fan's on. Of course, I can't check under the hood right now to see if the heater valve opened up. It should have. Guess I'll let it run for a few minutes until I get home. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up. The reason my heater wasn't giving me heat, there's definitely water flowing through the heater core. Both these hoses are hot, but this valve did not open for some reason. It should have received a signal from the ATC box to send heat, and that thing worked before I replaced all the vacuum hoses and everything, which I find rather amusing. You would think everything would work great now, but anyway, there seems to be a very small water leak somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't think it's coming from any of the hoses that I've just installed for the heater, so I'm gonna have to look at that. But of course, the big news is that I can drive the car again. The steering gear is in place. It works great, so I'm very, very, very happy about that. I'll have to figure out what that leak is, if it's even water. It could be something else, I suppose, but anyway. Oh, let's check to see if the vacuum release works now after the car's been shut off. I'd be surprised if it actually works, but let's find out. Oh, it worked! Holy crap! Now that's big news. Remember what I said earlier about the vacuum hoses? Wow! So that right there is solid proof that my vacuum system is not leaking. So I'm real happy about that. Wow. Again, not important that the vacuum release works, when the car's not running, but it certainly reflects the idea that there's no vacuum leaking out, which is awesome. So anyway, I'm wrapping it up for the day. Have a good evening.